Hello, my name is Haley Wormuth. I'm applying for the 2014 summer internship at the Primate Rescue Center in Kentucky. I hope to be accepted to the June through August position. To start by telling you about myself, I live in Washington, D.C. I live with my grandparents and my mom and my brother. We own 2 horses, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a bird. We live on a 5-acre horse farm, and I spend most of my time working with my horses in the summer and going to James Madison University in the school year. What do I do for a living? For the most part, I spend most of my time doing my schoolwork. I'm currently taking 18 credit hours. I'm finishing up my gen-ed so I can start with all my major coursework next semester. I'm an anthropology major with a concentration in biology. In the summer, I either spend most of my time working with my horses, training them, cleaning their stalls, maintaining the property. I spend a lot of time fixing up the property because it's an old property, and I'm young enough to be able to take on all the work instead of having my grandparents do it. I also spend time working at restaurants. I worked at Funley's restaurant for a long time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the chain, but I serve tables. I am a hostess. I kind of do it all. Other than that, I volunteer at a few animal rescue organizations. My family and I grew up in middle of Missouri on 10 acres where people would dump their animals all the time, so we spent a lot of time taking in animals, rehabilitating them, and then giving them to other rescue organizations or to homes that would want to take them in. Why do I want to work with primates? All my life, I've really had a fascination with monkeys. I've had a fascination with gorillas. I love how they connect to our human genetics. I love how there's a background and history of evolution that traces all the way back to gorillas. I would love to have the work experience working in a conservation center because I believe that there are thousands and thousands of animals, not just primates, that need people like us to maintain these facilities so they have a place to go when they don't have anywhere else to go, especially in America. I would also love to work with primates because I would love the field work, the field experience, any kind of experience working. I know it's not hands-on, but the hands-on in a lab with other people that have been doing this their whole entire lives. I would love to go to Africa. I would love to go to India to work with primates when I'm done with my coursework and schoolwork. But for now, I would love to have this internship because it would give me my foot in the door with my long-term plans, which would be to work with primates. Have I ever worked with animals before? Yes, I have. As I said in my introduction, I live on a horse farm on 5 acres, and the only people that really used to take care of them now are my elderly grandparents. So I took on the responsibility of maintaining the grounds. Most of the summer, I spend time repairing split rail fences. We maintain all the lawns. I end up planting grass and mowing the grass in the spring. The horses I take care of all myself. I train them every morning. I work them out every morning. I ride them. We go on trail rides. Basically, I spend all summer working with the horses. Other than that, my experience goes far as back to when we lived in Missouri, where we lived on a 10-acre farm, and people would dump their animals out there all the time, so we took it on ourselves. We had a large chicken coop that wasn't being occupied after we had finished raising our chickens. So we turned the chicken coop into a little area to keep animals when we were trying to find homes for them. We found stray cats, stray dogs. We took stray cats in, would have them spayed, and then sent them out to other homes. We took in stray dogs, would have them tested to make sure that they were all up to date on their tests, and then we would also send them off to either rescue centers or to other families that called in. Other than that, I have spent a lot of time volunteering with the Four Paws Virginia Cats Community Volunteer Service. They would go to PetSmart every Saturday and do outreach adoptions events. This is where I found my cat, Bede. She's 5 years old, and I adopted her at one of these adoption events. And I love her to death. She's also part of the rest of my family's animals. We have 2 dogs, both of which are really old and also rescue animals that we've got. We have 1 cat, which is one that we trapped out in the woods and had him spayed, and then once he lived with us, he never wanted to go back out. And we have the horses, and we have a bird. So I've worked with animals my entire life. I love animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger, but I ended up not wanting to do that in college. And I'm excited to work at this possible internship because I absolutely love monkeys, and that would just expand my variety of animal workshop experience. Why do I want to intern at the Primate Rescue Center specifically? I really am interested in working at a facility that promotes healthy rehabilitation without any cause to the animals. I believe that there's a lot of primate facilities out there that are testing labs and they're maybe take them in, but I don't think all of them conduct themselves in the most humane way possible. I would really love to work with a team of people that have real experience with working with primates in that manner. I don't want to work with people that just use them as experiments. While I feel that animal testing is detrimental to expansions in fields of science, I don't think that many of them do it the way that they should. I am currently applying to 2 other internships that are similar to this one. I'm applying to the Center for the Great Apes in Florida for a 3-month, it's the very same time span internship, unpaid, on-site, working with the great apes that they're housing there. I'm also applying for a 1-month field school in Costa Rica that's all about environmental conservation and primatology. And that one is 1 month and you work as an independent study. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I'm not really sure where I see myself in 5 years. Hopefully, I'm looking to be doing the Peace Corps. I guess at that point, I'll probably be finishing up my 2nd year in the Peace Corps. I really am hoping to be working overseas. I'm hoping to be working either in Africa or India. I'm not sure really what I want to do yet. I'm really hoping that I'm working in my biological anthropology field and somehow it coordinates to primates, primate care, rehabilitation. But at the same time, I also am excited that I don't know what I'm doing in 5 years. I want to leave my door open for opportunities and possibilities that may open themselves in 2 years, in 3 years. So again, I'm hoping that it's somewhere in my field because that's what I love doing, but I don't know. And that is fine with me. What is the most boring job or task I've ever done? About 2 or 3 years ago, for a small governmental election in Virginia, it wasn't a presidential one, I volunteered as an election page where I basically sat with this little computer about this big and typed in people's names as they would come into the precinct, and I would either tell them that they're here to vote or that they need to go down the street to vote or they need to go across town to vote. So I did that for about 8 hours, and the whole 8-hour process itself was really boring, but I also felt good volunteering and helping the elderly and other people that needed to know where they wanted to vote. I mean, I think it's important that everyone votes and everyone needs to know where to go. So, do I prefer working alone or as a team? I really don't have a preference. I'm an independent worker. I can work alone if I need to, if it's expected of me, if that's my responsibility. I can handle myself in any of the situations. I'm also very open to working with a team. I love having other people contribute to the group project. I like other ideas. I think that the more people you have working on one project, the more variety of ideas you have. So I think it's important to be able to work with other teams. And I think it's also important to be able to work alone. So either way, I have no preference. I can do either. Do I have any hobbies? During the school year, I spend a lot of time singing. I work with string and make friendship bracelets to sell at music festivals in the summer, which is another hobby that I have. I love going to bluegrass festivals. I love going to any kind of music festival. I love camping. I love hiking in the summer. I love canoeing down the Shenandoah River is something my dad and I have always done every summer while we also go to bluegrass festivals together. I also, in the summer, I spend a lot of time doing trail rides all over my neighborhood with my horses. I spend time working around the house, just doing things that I can help my grandparents with. They're getting old and they have a large property, so one of my hobbies is basically just helping them out around the house and repainting little corners on the top of the house that they can't reach, or fixing a light bulb that they don't want to stand on a chair to do. I mean, it's not really a hobby, but it's something that I spend a lot of my time doing in my free time. Most of the things that make me angry wouldn't really make me angry, it just makes me more frustrated. One of my friends said that progression, when we talk about things in circles and how you can never get anything moving, you can never get the ball moving more than just in this little circle, that he notices that drives me totally insane, and he's really right. I don't like this circular, no getting anywhere conversation where nothing's getting done. I like to have plans. I like to be able to move forward with my day instead of just sitting around and talking about what we want to do instead of actually going out and doing it. That frustrates me to no end. Another thing that really frustrates me is environmental abuse. I cannot stand littering. I'll go around campus with people handing out little flyers to come to their things and come to these events, and while that's all fine, people just throw them all over campus, and that drives me insane because, I mean, you're going to hand out these organizations, but then you're just going to let people throw them all over the campus too. Another thing is I really, really hate animal abuse. I've spent a lot of time in high school working against people that would hoard animals, and people that would dump their animals on the side of our property. And I mean, it goes back to my interest in taking care of animals and rehabilitation. I just can't stand people mistreating an animal that can't do anything for itself, and that is just depending on you. Another thing that drives me absolutely insane is the intense obsession with social media and being on our iPhones or our smartphones or our cell phones all the time. It's just gotten so much worse as I've gotten older. I notice it even in my own friend group where we're just sitting around watching TV and I look up and everyone's on their phones. So I think that people really need to be more face-to-face, personal, and not be so connected to what's going on Facebook. As I mentioned before, my family has always had a lot of animals. We've always lived on about 5 or more acres, so we felt that we could house the animals. This is my cat. I mentioned her earlier. She's mine. Back home, we still have 2 dogs. We have 1 more cat who's getting pretty old, who's a rescue, and a bird. They're all rescue animals. My grandmom has a dog. We have the 2 horses. Before that, we raised chickens in a chicken coop in a farm on Missouri. We spent a lot of time with the chickens. We had other dogs before that. We've had other cats before that. We've always had a lot of pets, and we've always taken great care of them, and they've always been rescue animals. 5 adjectives I would use to describe my personality. I think I would start with exuberant, expressive, resonant, approachable, and I think everyone should be a little bit quirky. But I suppose you all can decide for yourself when you meet me. I think my favorite part about interning at the Primate Rescue Center would literally be working with the primates at the rescue center. I am so excited at the possibility of not having hands-on experience, but be able to prepare for their diets, to work out in the conservatories, and even clean up poop. I spend all the time over the summer cleaning up horse poop, and I don't mind that. So I don't see why I would worry about monkeys, and I'd be able to work with monkeys, which is something I have a passion for. I would also love to be able to make the networks and the connections with all the people that are working there full time, and even the interns. I think that living for 3 months with other people who are all spending time working on these projects will give me lifelong connections with people that I wouldn't get working at Friendly's or another restaurant. The least favorite part will be leaving my cat. I love my cat. She is my little companion when I am home alone all the time when my roommates are at school, and I think I'll miss her a lot if I'm gone for 3 months and won't be able to see her, but that's a sacrifice I'm definitely willing to make. Am I concerned about interning for the Primate Rescue Center? Yes, I am concerned that I will be up against juniors and seniors who have had field work, who have worked in the jungle, who have gone on private research trips with their universities, who have had way more experience than me. But at the same time, that also excites me because I know that I'm younger and I know that I may have less experience, but I also will be getting my foot in the door earlier than other people who may be looking for this opportunity as well. And I'm really excited, even though I do have a few fears about being new in a totally new environment, a totally new center with people I don't know. I'm also very excited to meet everyone, meet the primates, meet all these people that may very well help me in my future down my career path 5 years from now. And I'm very excited, and I hope you choose me for this internship. Again, I'm Haley Warmoth. I'm applying for the June through August summer internship at the Primate Rescue Center of 2014. I hope you enjoyed my video and getting to know about me. I'm excited to get to know everyone else as if I get accepted, and thank you again for giving me this opportunity to apply. I hope you see me in the future.